Number 60, here we go. Sam Chandler joins us to tell us all about his experience with the Marathon Alpha, his time with Oblivion Remastered, and the enduring delights of Blue Prince. We play a few cheeky rounds of a video game character draft, inspired by the NFL draft, for those of you in the States, before heading over to the latest news of the week. We've got previews for the Onimusha 2 Samurai's Destiny Remaster, reviews for Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Steel Seed, The 100 Line, and Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. Then over in news, we've got the latest on the Nintendo Switch 2 pre-order situation. How did you fare? We've got Phasmophobia sales numbers on consoles, a release date for Ghost of Yotei, and FBC Firebreak. And of course, on industry news, we hear all about the latest earnings results from all your favorite companies. So all that and more on today's episode. Let's kick it off. Here we go.
It's draft day, you guys, and neither of you give a shit about the NFL.
It's not that I don't give a shit. It's just that it's not culturally within. I love that everyone gets excited about it. I'm glad that people have these passions that are outside of my knowledge. So what's the draft situation? Because I literally had to ask Dono. I'm like, Dono, what does the Shaq chat topic mean? Can you explain it to me?
You guys don't do like sports drafts for like rugby and stuff over there?
So not only do I not know much about NFL, I don't follow sport, so it's not really in my vernacular wheelhouse.
So you're not really a team sports follower.
No, that's right.
Got it. That complicates things. But yeah, it's basically the process at which people get placed into professional sports in America out of college or out of high school. Is that they enter the draft, and all the teams, depending on where they placed last year, get to pick, the worst team in the NFL last year gets to pick first this year in an effort to try to balance create parity in the league and make it fair. So like the best player available could go to the worst team last year kind of thing.
Oh, so is it not up to the player to choose where they want to go off of bids of who wants to like have them on their team?
Out of college as an amateur going pro, in some leagues they do not have a choice. Now there are times where people get drafted to a team and they don't want to go there, so they say, I'm not going to play for you, and then either they hold out for a whole year or they force a trade. The most famous example of that would be Eli Manning, Peyton Manning's brother. He got drafted to the San Diego Chargers, but he wanted to play for the New York Giants, so he forced a trade to the New York Giants. He was like, I won't play. I'll just sit out.
So the college players get paid when they're playing in college?
Now they do. That's only in the last 4 years that's happened.
So previously they did not get paid, and then it came to drafting, and then people richer than them would tell them where they were going. Mate,
yes. Yeah.
What year is it? What is
I know it sounds like the 1800s in America.
It does.
And I understand what you mean. And then you start to look at who the owners are and who the players are, and you look at the demographics of each, and you're like, wow, this really sounds like the 1800s. Yeah. I guess the only thing that you can say is at least it's not an auction. It's just literally a draft based on talent, and like I said, your place in the draft is based on how bad or good your team was. Now, in other sports, it's even weirder, Sam. The NBA, they put you into something called a lottery, so there's 10 teams. The 10 worst teams of last year all get a certain amount of ping pong balls. That's right, Sam. Ping pong balls assigned to them. And then the commissioner pulls ping pong balls out of a machine, and that determines the draft order.
Like a bingo in a retirement village?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's why LeBron James coming to Cleveland his rookie year is like a miracle, because it required so many things to go their way, but yeah, and LeBron has suggested that it might have been rigged. Anyway, I'm excited for the draft because, at the end of the day, you're right. You don't have the free market or the control that you would as a established athlete in pro sports, Sam, because they do have free agency. After your rookie contract, you can choose where you want to go. But for some players, that's 5 years before then, and that could be your whole career. But what I think's cool about it is that these are guys that, they spent their whole life playing a sport, and they're finally reaching their goal. I think that's a cool, inspirational thing. that gets commoditized and turned into digestible content on social media and broadcasts. But
yeah, and not just like getting to play the sport, but also like excelling in academia whilst you're doing it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say anyone's excelling in academia, Sam.
Oh, don't you have to like pass and like make sure you're staying on top of that?
That used to be the case, but like, I don't know. Like, I went to the University of Michigan, right? It's a very good school, but they had majors like designed for athletes. So it's called kinesiology. It's the study of human movement. So it's you know, I'm not saying that that's not a real degree. I'm just saying it's a lot easier than, I don't know, biochemistry or something. So I wouldn't say that most athletes, especially now with this new dynamic, Sam, that they're being paid to go to college. I don't think that the era of the student athlete is really there anymore.
Right.
But like, there are guys who like went to Michigan for 4 years, got a pre-med degree, went to the NFL, played as a NFL player for like 8-10 years, retired from NFL and went to med school. So there are people like that.
That's cool. Because
you're
I
right.
just remember from King of the Hill and David Kalaiki Ali having to pass his subjects in order to be able to play.
Sure. Yeah. And that's still the case. And like, I guess my point is it's just less of a focus now because they removed the facade of the student athlete, right? You're paid to play. So you're not really an amateur anymore when you're in college.
Just a professional.
You're basically, it's like being a minor league professional now, instead of being a amateur, which good on them, because these colleges are making billions of dollars. Like, at least give some of that money to the kids who are creating that revenue. So I'm all for, it's called name, image, and likeness deals. I'm all for that. The problem there is it's like the Wild West. There is no regulation. There's no government rules about it. Each state has their own different rules. It's a bit of a mess. It's like last year.
Name, image, and likeness tie into the EA football, college football things? Nah, right, gotcha.
That's why each player gets paid for that now. That's cool. They each get paid and they get a copy of the game for free. Yeah.
That's sick, man. That's cool.
Yeah. So like, even if you're like John Jabu for like the 8th string player, you know, on whatever team in college, like you're still getting that check, and that's better than nothing. But the scales could still be tipped more. But anyway, yeah, it's football draft day, and we get to see how the Cleveland Browns will make a mistake here in about 45 minutes or so.
Do you do? Because I remember watching. I think it was called The League, where the friends would have a
fantasy
draft.
football. Yeah.
Do you still do that?
I do. Yeah. I have a league that I've been managing, Sam, since 2000.
Wow.
So 25 years.
25
and I just won it for the first time this year.
Hell yeah. No one can say it was rigged.
25 years of being a commissioner of a league and losing every year. And I finally won. So that felt good. But yeah, I'm a fantasy football player. I don't gamble. I don't like gambling on pro sports or any sports at all. And with fantasy, usually people throw in for like a pool. I'll do that or whatever. But like, my league is free to enter, and it's not even head to head. It's just cumulative points by the end of the year. So it's a little different. But yeah, the same group of friends I've had since college, like we're still in the league together. So yeah, I do that, but we don't have like giant draft events in Vegas or anything like that. We just get online, and if we're lucky, everyone can make it to the draft and doesn't auto draft. But yeah, Ozzy's in that league still for some reason. He's like forgotten to leave every year, so he auto drafts. And anyway, but yeah, I do fantasy draft. There's even a fantasy website for video games. Have you seen that, Joe? There's like
yes.
Game Critics.
Fantasy Critic, yeah.
Yeah, Fantasy Critic. Yeah, that's I've been in a few of those leagues. They're interesting. But yeah, that's anyway, football. People talking about it. You know, people talking about it, doing things. It's being held in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
We will have more, I suppose, winking at the NFL draft later in the show, just so we're clear.
That's right. Vontae Mack, no matter what. It's Shack Together in America on the internet, where you cannot buy a Switch 2. If this is your first time joining us, Shack Together is a Shack News video game podcast featuring myself, your host, Shack News CEO, EIC, EIEIO, Asif Khan. Our producer, Joe Stasios here.
Yeah, hello.
And head of guides. And like, what's your Shack Maps title?
Senior cartographer.
Senior cartographer. That's right. I wanted to get that right. Sam Chandler is here.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Shack Maps. Doing things. We got a lot of Shack Maps in development right now. It's an exciting time to be a Shack News cartographer of any rank. But if you're a senior one, that's got to be extremely exciting. So it is. As this is a video game podcast that doesn't just rant about the draft processes and various pro leagues, we talk about video games here. What have you been playing lately? It seems like a bunch of awesome stuff.
I have been playing a bunch of awesome stuff. I'm just going to list them and we can dive in. I've been playing Blueprints. I've been playing the Oblivion Remastered version that just came out, and the Marathon Alpha. So 3 ones that are, circulating a lot of buzz at the moment.
Yeah,
awesome.
very topical, trendy games that you're playing right now.
Trendy fella.
So you're like, I would say, the number one Bungie fan on staff. I think that's
probably a fair assessment. I think that's fair.
Okay.
It's not hard when no one else really.
Hey. You've played Halo with me.
That is right. That is right.
I have a lot of hours in Halo 2. Long before I was at Shack News. But
if it was like 2012 and it was like, who likes Bungie the most? I think we'd have more people like trying to vie for the title. You know what I mean?
Maybe it's Bungie's fault. I don't know. Just to throw it out there. Especially the transition from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2 lost some people. Marathon. Is it good?
I am conflicted. I'm very conflicted.
So that means no.
Well, it doesn't necessarily mean no, because it also kind of means yes.
You're conflicted, though.
I am conflicted. There's a lot of moving parts here. Like, firstly, Bungie, they make good games. Like, whether you like Destiny 2 or not, it has drawn in a lot of people. It changed the landscape of looter shooters. It is the moment-to-moment gameplay, and that is good. It's really difficult to get in as a new player. If you're getting in as a new player without friends that are like guiding you through it, or are getting in at the same level as you, it can be overwhelming to the point where you might as well, unless you've already started playing Destiny 2, it's too difficult to get into at this point. Really, unless Bungie overhauls it. But in saying that, it's a good game. Halo, fantastic series. Like, Bungie did a phenomenal job there. And prior to that, obviously Marathon, fantastic. So they've got this proof that they deliver good games, and if it doesn't launch in a great spot, they stick with it and fix it and get it to a point where people are coming back in droves to play it, right? You've also got the other aspect of they've got all these layoffs, and then you got the other aspect of Sony bought them for $1 gazillion, and now Sony wants to get their money back. And then on the other hand, in addition to that, you're creating an extraction shooter game, which is not only is the FPS genre hyper competitive, it's a niche within a niche that you're trying to create. And it's like, are you trying to convince players of Tarkov and like, what's Call of Duty's one? It's not Warzone. Anyway, Call of Duty has one. Delta Force has one. Are you trying to appeal to those players and bring them over? Are you trying to appeal to the Destiny 2 players and bring them over? So, I don't know, there's a lot of elements here that are a bit odd, but I'm enjoying what I'm playing so far, and that's under the caveat of I'm playing on North American servers, so the connection's terrible. It's an alpha build, so things are rough around the edges and nothing's finalized. I'm not playing with my mates, and I'm trying to figure it out as I go by myself, So there's all these elements are working against me to be able to fully get the experience that I think Bungie would want someone to have when they play the game in September. But in saying that, I'm kind of intrigued, I think the Marathon IP, and especially the lore and background and story, is intriguing. And I think that if Bungie has the potential to do it justice and create a lot of mystery and a lot of excellent emergent gameplay moments of surprising things. So I don't know. I'm cautious. Like, I'm conflicted. Like, I'm not completely sold on the experience. I want to know, what more am I going to be doing? What's the pinnacle activity? Like, I'm going in, I'm looting, I'm extracting, I'm getting some stuff.
It seems like they're going to have
factions.
They're going to have something like raids, Sam, is my understanding.
They're going to need something, man. And I don't really know how that's going to work when you've got a lot of other people in a map that aren't necessarily on your team. Like, you're just going to have to hope that they work together. And I've I wrote a shout, right? Before about, like, I think Sea of Thieves might be an extraction shooter. And so it's like, in that game,
I honestly was kind of confused what exactly the genre is, and I saw Deep Rock was being called an extraction shooter. Is that accurate?
I don't know if Deep Rock is, purely because there's not other players fighting against you.
It's not PvE, or it's not...
there's no PvP aspect to it.
Yeah.
Whereas Sea of Thieves there is. And so with Sea of Thieves, like, you might work together with someone, but I don't know if you can do that fully in a game like Marathon, especially when there's no proximity voice, which is just insane. Such a stupid decision.
Yeah, I've seen people arguing about that on both ways, and, like, I don't know, man. I might just be old or sick of being on the internet, but, like, that was the last thing I cared about. Like, I'm like, okay, I don't have to hear people call me the N-word if they're close by. Like, sounds good to me.
At the same time, like, I'm not... Yeah, obviously, that's no good. You don't want that in video games. You don't want, like, that.
That's the unintended consequence of having that, is all I'm saying. Like, it's not...
Yeah.
It's obviously not what they think the people are going to do, but it's just... You let people talk on a mic on the internet, offensive things are going to come out of their face.
Yeah, but that's not going to be the majority of the situations.
Yeah.
Like, I play a lot of Hunt Showdown. I don't think I've had anyone abuse me in that game. I played a lot of Sea of Thieves, like, 2,000 hours. I could probably count on 1.5 hands, the amount of times that I've had abuse hurled at me. Whereas I can count the amount of times I've had incredible, like, funny or intense moments where I'm communicating with someone else who I don't know, who is just a complete stranger to me, who I don't know where they are exactly, but I know that they're close enough that I can talk to them. That yields some hilarious results.
Yeah.
And it also feeds back into, if you're going to be having, like, raid or major encounters or dungeon experiences or whatever,
you need to be able to communicate with people. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, just for the facilitation of the game mode, you need to be able to talk to people. I get that. And it is like a decision, though, that they made. Because it's not like...
But it's crazy, because it's like they were the proprietors of proximity chat back in the day. Like, Halo 2 was one of the first games, if not the first game, that had proxy chat. You could talk to your teammates, but if you were using open comms, the enemy team could hear you, like, if you were roaming around. And it creates some hilarious moments, and
it does.
I think it's a miss. I think it is a big miss if they don't include it. And what they should do is just implement some, like, a decision. As soon as you boot the game, turn it on, turn it off.
Yeah.
Go from there.
Opt in. Make it opt in. Make it opt in, and I'm all for it. Or opt out.
I'm of the other thing. I make it opt out. People
whatever
have to
it is,
go
like,
and make the
but
decision.
like, make it part of the onboarding. Like, let the person make that decision before they're even in the game, I think, is the right way to handle it. But taking it out entirely, I understand what you're saying. But it's not. That's not what concerns me about this game. And honestly, the gunplay looks good. The weapons look cool. And, like, that'll get me into your game for about 2 weeks. So now the question is, like, how do you keep me playing this game longer than 2 weeks? I think that's the 90. That's the 90. Or sorry, how much did they acquire them for? That's the $4 billion question for Sony. Is how do we keep people coming back to Marathon? But, like, from what I saw or what I've seen of this alpha, and admittedly, it's just an alpha, and it was just one mode and, like, one map.
Yeah, I mean, that's maps? Or 2 maps, and it's just one mode. It's the extraction mode. Like,
it's not. I don't think it's fair to judge this game yet.
No, exactly.
So, like, I don't know if it'll succeed or fail or whatever, but, like, at the end of the day, Bungie makes good shooting experiences. Their gunplay is, I think, the best. Their matchmaking's pretty good. So I don't know how that's playing in here, because I know extraction shooter, is a little different. You're able to solo queue, right? Like, with 2 other randoms.
Yeah, you can solo queue with 2 other
Have you done that?
Yeah, I have, but not to great effect.
Okay, so that's, I think, going to be a problem. Because that's what Fortnite has in spades, is you can just solo queue. and it's not the worst experience in the world. Also, it's free. I just think Fortnite's going to announce an extraction shooter, and they're going to kneecap this game entirely.
Yeah, they could do. I mean, does Fortnite already have an extraction shooter element?
It has. I don't know. It has everything.
Does it? Yeah. Oh no, it's got like a Counter-Strike sort of.
It has
thing.
more of it's more of a Valorant Counter-Strike. Ballistic, I think, is what you're talking about. Yeah, that's not. Yeah, that's not. I'm saying you take Ballistic, you take that engine, and you make an extraction shooter out of it. I could see that happen. And then this game is dead on arrival because it was at $40. I think that's honestly.
They haven't revealed the price.
Oh, they haven't yet. But they said it's going to cost money.
So it's not going to be 60 or 70, but it might be, who knows, 30, 40, 50?
Yeah. We'll see. Because I think that's going to be a problem. Is live service game worth that much to people?
Don't know, man.
And would have all these resources been better put towards making Destiny 3?
Nah, I don't think so.
Wow.
Like, because you've got the people who have played Destiny 2 or Destiny as a franchise for 10 years that have seen the conclusion of the Light and Darkness saga, and it's like, yeah, cool, I'm done, I'm happy. Like, I'm going to move on to something else now.
So, like, Destiny 3 gets announced, you're not stoked? You're not losing your mind?
No, unless it's dramatically different, which I don't think it would be. Like, I don't really... For me, and I've used this example, like, so many times, it's the Marvel superhero... like Endgame. Like, I watched Endgame. I watched all the movies up to Endgame. I enjoyed it. I'm like, hell yeah, that was a cool experience. And now I've got zero interest in Marvel. I don't care. Like, I'm not, yeah, cool, new Marvel movie comes out. I'm sure it's, fun, cool popcorn movie, but I'm not getting up out of my seat to go and see it in the cinema.
So, why didn't this happen to you with Halo?
That's a great question. I think maybe because I didn't play Halo every single day of my life, and...
It wasn't part of your job.
Well, I don't. But also, it's not that grind, that FOMO. Like, I can jump. Like, once you finish the single player campaign in Halo, if you want to play it again, you can. You can just go back and play it again and have a great time. Or if you want to, you can jump in for some multiplayer. But there's nothing where it's like, oh, cool, I now need to go back in and upgrade all my weapons again to be able to play the campaign missions again, to be able to be competitive in multiplayer. Like, it's just that endless hamster wheel.
It's the pickup and playability of Halo versus Destiny 2. Okay, that makes sense. And also, like,
that's right.
The amount of time, like, because to your point, these are event driven. The whole game's been event driven. So, like, unless you were there playing through all the events, like, coming into it now is not the same experience.
That's right.
No, I get that. And also, I think the last real expansion they did was quite good. I thought the ending was good.
For sure.
Even if
like, it was a great...
Yeah.
It finished it in a great spot. And, like, so, I'm sure...
So, is there not a Destiny 3? Cool. Like, do you think they won't make a Destiny 3?
Oh, I don't know, man. Maybe in 10 years? I don't know. But they've continuing on with Destiny 2. Like, they've got the Edge of Fate, and which is, I think, Frontiers or Apollo.
Yeah.
And whatever else. They've got more stuff that's coming to the Destiny 2
I think there might be more people... There might be more people watching our weekly Xur video than people playing Destiny 2 right now, Sam. Like, it's...
Maybe.
A lot of people are in our comments just talking about how dead the game is. And, like, I don't know. We see it here at Shack News because we have a lot of Destiny 2 guides. But, yeah, it's... that's interesting. Because I don't think this is it, man. Like, this is not how you follow up Destiny 2 with an extraction shooter marathon... and
I don't think it's necessarily them trying to be like, okay, everyone in Destiny 2, all right, off the bus. We got a train here for you to get on. Everyone, come on board the train. This is just like the developers. Hey, we've been developing Destiny, the franchise, for 12 years now, for 13 years. We want to do something else. We want to do something else that we think is fun and cool. If you like it, great. If you don't, that's totally fine. Destiny, we're still developing Destiny, but this is something new. This is something that people, if you're a PvP fanatic and like this extraction shooter, hopefully it appeals to you. But if not, the characters are cool. Like the actual runners that you play as are neat.
Mm-hmm. No, I think the universe they've created or kind of repurposed from the past it's interesting. It's visually impressive. I think if they're gonna do this like Overwatch style of cinematic driven marketing, like it'll have some hype around it. I just have a lot of questions about if people really want to play this game, and Bungie fans specifically I know that they are going to try it at least, Sam. Like it may not be for them, but they're going to try it.
Yeah, they will try it. This is not for this is not for PvE players.
Yeah.
If people have like enjoyed the raids and the dungeons and the the loot chase, it's not for you, man. Like this is an extraction shooter at its core is a PvP experience, and if you don't vibe with that, like they talked about you being able to make progress as a PvE player by like engaging with the factions and the contracts and the AI combatants, but that's not the heart of what an extraction shooter is. It's that emergent gameplay when you do encounter another human, and it's like, okay, time to switch on.
Yep. Interesting. Well, I'm not sold. If you, Mr. Bungie, are not singing all the praises for this game yet, and obviously it's just the alpha that we're playing, I'm a little worried about it, Sam. That's all I'm saying. Like,
I'm conflicted. There's some slight trepidation here. I think wait for the next beta when they actually open up servers and let more than a handful of people in, when people can actually get in together.
I'll just say this:
see how we go.
You were more excited for Halo Infinite than you are Marathon.
Yeah, that's right. That's a fair assessment.
And Halo Infinite's certainly in a place now. But yeah, hey, fair. I look forward to hearing more impressions of yours about Marathon, because like I said, we can't judge it today. It's too early.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I've only put in like, I don't know, 5-6 hours or so. So it's still so early days, man.
Seeing your opinion, our friend Rise of Bacon's been tweeting about it the last few days too, over there.
Yeah.
It sounds like you guys are both feeling similarly.
Yeah, probably. I'd say so.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's not a smash hit, I guess is all I'm saying. Yet.
Well, yeah, it's an alpha. I just don't know.
Yeah.
It's nowhere near the finished product. And it's so critical to be playing with friends. It's like, I don't even know what I can accurately liken it to. You know what I mean?
Joe,
like,
is your crew in this at all? Did any of you guys get alpha codes or anything?
No. It seems a little hardcore for I think the attention that my group could give.
And you guys are still busy playing X Defiant.
Well, I'll get to that. Actually, that ship has sailed.
And then Sam, Oblivion Remastered is awesome.
Oh man, look, I'm so sorry, Marathon Alpha, but it's a long weekend here in Australia. Today's Friday Anzac Day, where we remember our veterans, and part of this long weekend is going to be me sinking into Oblivion Remastered, because Oblivion is one of my favorite games of all time, and this remaster is phenomenal, to say the least.
Yes.
It's so good.
That's great to hear.
Yeah, me and Lauren picked up a copy last night, and we've been sitting in Discord with our other mates who are also playing it, and we're all just streaming our perspectives to each other and just like enjoying running around Cyrodiil, listening to Jeremy Saul's music and engaging in quests and just...
It's like you're all having a game chat on Nintendo Switch too.
That's right.
And you're playing Blueprints.
And I'm playing Blueprints, which I know Joe has been playing a little bit as well.
How's progression going there? Like,
good. I finished it. I'm probably gonna.
Do you
get
won?
Some achievements?
When you say you finished it, is it a win? How do you describe
I rolled credits.
I
rolled credits.
Huh. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long did it take you?
My game time on Steam, which I have open and I'm navigating to as we speak, my game time is 52 hours.
Okay.
But that is a lot of it is me sitting in the menu and whatnot. So I don't know. Would 30 hours maybe be a fair... Maybe
Sure.
30 hours?
Sure.
There's a lot of content there. So I've rolled credits, but there's more secrets for me to get. There's more achievements and trophies and things for me to unlock and understand and solve in the game itself. But I feel content. If I was to not boot it up again, I feel content knowing that I rolled credits.
Wow. All right.
Nice. So Joe, you've also been playing.
Yes. And Sam and I have a dialogue going where we're speaking more freely than I will indulge now. Yeah. But Sam, did you feel? It sounds like you're saying satisfied, but have you received closure on story things?
yes, some story things I received closure on. Other ones that I could keep sort of digging to learn more about, like events.
So that question is because I've heard so many accounts of, the goal that's presented to you when the game starts. You can roll credits and sort of not really understand. I'm saying it's possible to roll credits and not really understand the story. Not because you don't understand it, but you can kind of skip that or ignore it. Maybe is the better way to phrase it. So
the story's not critical at all.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to learn more about the story, you got to put in the effort to get it out. Kind of like you would a FromSoft game, I guess.
Oh, that's a good comparison. Yeah.
Like the nuggets are there. If you care about it and you want to know more, you can work towards getting it, or you can just be like, I'm gonna smash through it. I'm gonna solve these puzzles. I'm gonna, in Dark Souls, I'm gonna defeat these bosses and get to the end and roll credits. And hey, that was cool. Do you know what like linking the fire in Dark Souls meant? Nah, not a clue. All right, doesn't matter. You had a good time. Same with sort of blueprints. You can get to the end and you can be like, not really grasping what the end cutscene means, but still being like, hey, cool, I made it.
Wow. What's your enthusiasm level having finished it? Did it go up, down, stay the same?
I think it's great. I think it's a phenomenal game. I had peaks and valleys where I would be like, I fucking hate this game and want to Alt F4, and then the very next run, I'd be like, oh yeah, you know what? Actually, this is great. This is so good. This is a brilliant game. And those moments where I wanted to like Alt F4 and just like turn my computer off was when I would be capable of finishing the game, but the RNG would dictate that I could not access the final room.
Right.
And I would be like, are you serious? I've worked so hard to get here and RNG just ruined my day.
Right. Yep.
But then you have runs where you can accrue a little bit of information and you go, oh, actually, I know somewhere where this bit of information might help me push down another thread of discovery. Have you been finding that?
Trying not to say. I
try not to say.
No, that's vague enough to say. This game really, I think, does sort of classically put the player in the situation you're describing. I think it is a game of peaks and valleys. That has been my experience. I am in the valleys right now. I've made quite literally no perceivable progress in, I'd say, the last 18 hours.
Oh,
and
what?
Yes, I do mean perceivable, right? Like, I don't know. I could be missing something, right?
Just to sort of, like, clear the air of the smog that we're sort of trying to weave through. Mm-hmm. Asif, are you playing this? Are you looking to play this?
I am going to play it. It's on our must play list. I have not played it yet. I have not had the time.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering.
But I'm also like, everything you guys have said about it is so up my alley that I'm legit afraid of this game, because I'm like, oh, I kicked the Vampire Survivors habit, I kicked the Balatro habit, and now you guys are giving me blueprints, and I'm like, uh-oh, this is like another one of those things. And I'll get into why I barely played my favorite game this week, because I've been working on this other thing. But yeah, like I haven't really had the time. Then the last few weeks when I was playing games on my PC, I was playing Schedule 1. I took a week off of that, but yeah.
I have an A4 notebook on my desk, and it has 8 pages full of notes on blueprints as I've been playing. I've been jotting down notes.
Goddamn. Yeah.
And drawing diagrams and maps.
Yeah. I have not had the time to delve into it, but everything I've heard, everything I've seen, this is my kind of game, and I'm afraid of it. I'm actually legitimately afraid of it. But yeah.
Well, you can you can finish it in a way that sets it apart from a Balatro, kind of, I think.
But the replayability aspect of it, man, like it seems like, Sam, like, you've completed it. Do you not want to play it anymore?
I do. I would like to. There are other things that I want to now move on to. Like, I could definitely go back, because there are achievements and in-game... Look, I don't think it's a spoiler to say that one of the potential rooms you can get is called a trophy room, and that's where it stores your, like, a visual representation of the achievements you unlock.
So it has this, like, completionist aspect to it.
That's right. You could potentially get to a point where it's like, well, okay, I've unlocked all the rooms, I've solved all the puzzles.
That was the danger in Balatro, man. Like, once I beat it with one deck, they're like, here's another deck. I'm like, oh no. And then it's like, here's another deck. Here's another deck. You know, I'm like, oh fuck. And then Vampire Survivors are like, here's this other DLC. I'm like, fuck.
Well, I will say that there are some puzzles that I don't think I've got the capacity to solve. Like, there's one that's like a full-on, I have to figure out a language. And so I'm like, oh, that's probably beyond me.
I'll say it here, and hopefully I'll live up to it. I will play Blueprints before the next episode of this podcast.
Hey. Nice.
Just based on, like, I've seen a lot of people's impressions of it. I like, the reviews were wildly positive, and like, I know it kind of was in the hype cycle and kind of disappeared because we've had other games come out this week or whatever. But yeah, this one's up my alley. Like the praise from Romsteady, who already beat it. Sam, you've beaten it now, and I know how obsessed you are with puzzle games, Sam. So like, and then Joe, like, yeah, all of you guys in your experiences, I'm like, yep, I need to get in there. And I've kind of fallen off of Schedule 1 because once they made me lace marijuana, it just didn't feel right. I'm like, I don't.
Jeez,
I don't like lacing marijuana with cough
who
syrup.
does?
That's weird. It's weird. That's weird behavior. So yeah, but you guys asked me what I've been playing.
Go.
Yes, Sam.
Well, I was prompting you.
Oh, okay. I thought you wanted to do the honors, which would be fine too.
Oh no! I this is your rodeo.
Okay, so you're gonna let me do it. Okay, here we go. Asif,
there's
what are you playing? Oh, Sam, you stepped on me, man. Oh, jeez. All right, I'll try it again.
Delay. I'm sorry.
I'll try it again.
The worst podcast ever.
Here we go. Hey, Asif, what have you been playing?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. I've been playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Why, oh why am I playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe?
You and Steve are sick.
No. No, it's not because I like it. Nope. Look, I like the game. It's not a bad game. But we all have many, many hours in it. It's a very old game at this point. But, you know, we're doing... The anniversary's next week. We're going to do a video for our top 96. And we wanted to have cleaner gameplay than our VODs provided. So I've been going through and playing our top 96 in order. I need to play about 30 more tracks. I can say that the list so far is perfect. That first third, Sam, oh my God, does it suck. Like, some of the worst tracks that you'll ever play. Just miserable, horrible tracks. But then once you get above like 50 or 60, it starts to get really good. And like, it really shows you that they made like 50 different racetracks that are all fun. So I'm enjoying the back half of it. But yeah, we're just trying to get some gameplay for a couple of videos that we're going to make. So it's actually taken up a lot of my time. So I've been in my free time, what little I have, I've been playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And then because the F-Zero devs are either like, are they spying on me? Joe, like, what is going on here? Because like, we didn't even post the podcast yet. We had recorded last week's podcast, and I said on it, like, yeah, I think they're reaching the end of development for F-Zero 99, and like, we might not get any updates. And then they're like, boom, here's version 1.6.0 that adds a new mini world tour, new cosmetics, and even like Nintendo Switch profile icons and stuff. So like, and even Nintendo tweeted a Captain Falcon GIF this week. Like, they're acknowledging F-Zero everywhere. Did you see the Paul Rudd ad, Joe?
I didn't watch it because I didn't understand the reference. He was in an ad 30 years ago. I didn't know that.
He was in the Super Nintendo like ad. Yeah, like the reveal ad for the SNES. He was featured in it. He was not a superstar at that point. It's just pure, he got booked for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they recreated it. Like, he's wearing the same outfit. His hair's done the same way. It's a huge callback to the Super Nintendo. And in the Super Nintendo, you know, it was a launch title for Super Nintendo was F-Zero. So that commercial features F-Zero and the Fire Stingray. This commercial, there's a little nod to F-Zero in it because it shows his home screen and his Switch 2. And yeah, of course he has Mario Kart World loaded up, but right next to it is F-Zero 99. And I was just like, wow, that's wild. That like, this is multi-million-dollar ad that's going to be shown during the NBA Finals probably, right? And like, there's F-Zero front and center. I was like, that's pretty cool. Yeah,
Sweet.
we got more tracks. We got inverted or mirror versions of the Ace League. So the Satellaview tracks now have brand new, never before seen mirror versions of themselves. Awesome. Another Grand Prix. And they're doing this thing where it's like every 15 minutes is going to be Ace League or Mirror Ace League this weekend. They're doing a double XP weekend this weekend. So yeah, actually, maybe I won't play Blueprints this weekend, but yeah, it's an amazing time to be an F-Zero fan, I guess is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
And just they added more cosmetics. They added another mode. Like, it's cool. It's just things keep getting better for F-Zero 99 fans, and everyone in the community is super pleased with this update. I haven't seen any complaints. So that's usually exciting. There are some glitches, with the Skyway in certain areas that could probably get patched out in a future patch or something. But yeah, really good. And different. Like, it's surprising because the mini world tour is like, they took my feedback kind of, because like the world tour event, which was in winter, the Frozen World Tour, it was 9 races, 3 laps each. This mini world tour, I believe, is 7 races, 3 laps each. So they narrowed it down a little bit, which I think is a little bit better. But yeah, awesome. And yeah, unbelievable. I wonder if we could get a performance update for Switch 2. That would be interesting.
What would the performance update be? Because doesn't it
frame rate
already run?
No, I'm saying, like, if it runs at 60, let's run this thing at 120. Like, in handheld, I would love to play at 720, 120 in handheld, or 120 whatever, like 1080p 120 on my TV. I think that
it was on the home screen in the advert.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, like, it's possible that it'll get a performance update, and that would be really cool. But at the very least, like, Nintendo is acknowledging this franchise on a regular basis now. And Joe, do you get like those newsletters just from being a Switch Online person?
Oh yeah, I do. Yep.
Like, it's F-Zero 99 updates are always featured in there. So yeah, like this, I think it's safe to say that they view this as a success at this point, or otherwise they wouldn't be supporting it.
I'd say.
Yeah. So that's interesting. And I think I mentioned it before, but I think they learned some stuff with F-Zero 99 that they're bringing to Mario Kart World. But yeah, I hadn't really had much time to play anything, so I don't have a whole lot to say, but I actually haven't even had a chance to play the mirror tracks yet. I was trying to play them earlier, but I was just picking up other tracks, like, how it's random, you have to vote. But yeah, this weekend, I'm going to dive in and probably have more to say about it. But yeah, it's just fun, man. It's fun seeing the community get all excited. Every time they do this, it brings people back in, so you got more people to race against and stuff. So all that stuff's fine. All that stuff's great.
Sweet.
Good times. But yeah, you have a game-like thing, right?
Yeah, it's a game-like thing. Yes. Yes. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll dive into that. Welcome to the video game character draft 2025. We have a lovely auditorium here, fully attended by all the greats, all the video game greats. Doug Bowser's obviously here, etc. And tonight there's but one goal, and it is to outfit your roster with the strongest, some say subjective, but you will say objective, list of video game talent. We will proceed with a 5-round draft. That means that some of this pool of talent that you see before you, which I will read to the audience shortly, will not make the cut. There is, however, a secret 6th round from which you may pull an unnamed talent, which is not listed in the forthcoming pool. It'll be your ace in the hole, you might say. So, without further ado, and by the way, I'll be drafting too. Come on.
Hell yeah.
Here we go with the talent pool. These are your options for the first 5 rounds of the video game character draft. We have, of course, Lara Croft, Master Chief, Nathan Drake, Samus Aran, Solid Snake, Link, Kratos, Agent 47, Garrus Varkarian, Guybrush Threepwood, Arthur Morgan, Leon Kennedy, Cloud Strife, Shadowheart, Pyramid Head, Bowser's here, Minecraft Steve, Clank of Ratchet & Clank,
Just Clank.
Geralt of Rivia, Mario, Tom Nook,
Boo.
Gordon Freeman, Pikachu, Donkey Kong, Frank West, Mega Man Volnut. I didn't know that was his last name, or I don't know what that word is. Phoenix Wright, Crash Bandicoot. According to Giant Bomb, the third word after Mega Man is Volnut. Are we all looking this up now?
Yeah.
Strange. Yeah, you learn something new. So, who wants to go first? Because it doesn't matter. We're gonna do Snake, and there's no really objective. There's really no reason that first is better than second or third.
Really?
Well, because it's all subjective.
I guess, but like first pick, man. I get if you're just gonna hand out first pick, I'll take first pick.
Okay, Asif gets first pick. My point is that your first pick isn't necessarily my first pick.
I know. But also, I don't know how we're going to judge this at the end.
The Hasmamu will decide, I'm sure.
Okay, yeah, we'll let Hasmamu decide who wins. With the first pick, I'm taking Donkey Kong.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, I'm keeping a list here. Sam.
Who's Sam second?
Go ahead. Sam, you can take second pick. Go ahead.
It's got to be Minecraft Steve. He's canonically the strongest out of everyone here.
Is that in the movie or something?
Dude, he can hold 64 stacks of iron repeated like 64 times in his inventory. Are you telling me he's not the strongest one?
Have you seen what Link can do with Ultra Hand?
Mate, can he... tons. I'm talking metric tons of stuff in Steve's pockets, and he can sprint at a full speed.
Okay.
He's so strong.
Wow.
Joe, it's your
That's
pick.
my pick.
Good pick. I get 2 picks now.
Yeah, back to back.
I'm taking Crash Bandicoot, my first love.
Wow.
A lot of history between us. Crash and I go way back. Big fan. I mean, or I was. That fourth game was okay. But with my second pick, I have to take Cloud Strife.
Yeah.
I have to.
Okay.
Back to Sam.
Back to Sam.
Okay. Now, I'm going to be kind here. I'm going to be kind to you, Asif.
Why?
Because
we're in a competition here.
We are in a competition. But
you're going to leave someone on the board for me, is what you're saying.
Yeah, because I believe in like a friendly competition. That's what I believe in.
Okay.
I think I'm going to have to pick Kratos.
Okay.
Strong. He's a god.
So this is my second pick, right?
Second pick. 5.
With my second pick, I'm going to take Mario.
Oh,
wow.
I am surprised.
Noticing a theme here. I am too.
And then I have the third. I'm starting the third round, right?
Yep.
Okay, let me look at the board here. This is a tough board. Wow. I could really screw over Sam here because I think I know what he's going to pick next. But he was so kind to me just now. Got some interesting characters still on the board here, man. I'm going to go with the kid out of Kakariko Village, Link.
Hey.
Wow.
I think he's got some solid upside to him if he can find that ocarina.
That's right.
Dang. Sam, your third pick.
I'm going to have to go with Master Chief. He's not the best at everything, but he's the luckiest. And I think luck in a draft is what's most important.
He was on my board. He was right up there, Sam. I passed on Master Chief's. I knew that you were going to pick him, so I passed on him.
And that's why I passed on Link, because I knew you were going to pick him. And I was like... I thought you were going to pick Mario. But yeah, thank you for letting me pick Link. I'm saying Link was... There's some other characters that Link could have been passed up for. It's a stacked list here.
There's a lot of talent. I think we're going to have some high-performing teams this season. And that's why I'm going with my third pick on Joe Squad. A fixture in the first Mass Effect, my favorite of the trilogy, Garrus Vakarian. What a great character.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really romanticize him like the community does. I don't know if I totally understand that side of it, but the voice acting, and how he fits into the plot throughout the trilogy. What a fantastic
pretty simple
character.
with BioWare characters. They just want to bone them.
Yeah, but considering his head looks like tree bark, I just don't know if I understand the attraction.
Look, no kink shaming here. Just saying, if it's a BioWare game, people want to bone them.
It's true. So with my
another
fourth
pick coming up.
pick,
Yeah, you start the fourth round here.
I wonder if I should just keep those that kind of vibe going and take everyone else's heartthrob Shadowheart.
That's a good one.
Damn.
I know Donovan would have taken Shadowheart first overall.
I do remember. Yes, I do remember
Ichiban
his
waifu, Shadowheart.
infatuation. Here's the thing. I've never played Baldur's Gate 3. That's an aspirational pick.
Wow.
Because I plan to dive in.
Yeah, you're
unbelievable.
Maybe that game will have mouse support on Switch 2. I know it hasn't been announced yet, but that seems like an obvious Switch 2 game.
It does. Sam, your fourth pick.
Okay, well, you've screwed me over by picking Shadowheart, because I was going to pick her, because you can't even spell her name correctly. I'm just gutted.
Sorry. Oh my god, Hart.
Yeah.
That's horrific.
My fault.
Oh, unbelievable.
Someone edit that.
I'm going to have to get the other armored excellence up in here and go Samus.
Samus Aran. Good pick. So I'm picking my fourth and my fifth pick back to back, right?
That's right. Yep.
I'm shocked that this character is still available. I will be taking Pikachu. Fourth round. And then fifth round, man. Fifth round. It's just, I have such a theme going right now with my team that if I break it now, it'll look really weird, but I kind of want to.
Oh, you kind of need that X factor. Although you do have a sixth round, I will remind you.
I know.
The sixth round
my sixth round may come from the Nintendo universe, is all I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to take a wild card here. Poker player, gunslinger, Arthur Morgan.
Yeah,
nice.
Solid. He does not fit in with this group, but that's all the better.
It's like all these Nintendo characters, and then Arthur just sitting there chewing tobacco with them.
All wearing jerseys.
Yeah, so that's my fifth round pick. So Sam, you're up.
Okay. I'm going to need someone who can hunt Pikachu and hunt Donkey Kong. So I'm going to go Geralt of Rivia, who is
I thought you were going to go Agent 47.
No, I need someone who is excellent at taking down monsters and yellow little freaks, and that's going to have to be Geralt.
That's a good pick. That's a value pick down here too. That was your fifth round?
That was.
Yeah.
Knowing Geralt, he's probably offended, actually.
Yeah. Clank's still on the board, Joe. Clank's just sitting there for you. Hey, who wants Clank?
No, I got to play the game. And the game is trying to have the squad that wins. And you know what? With that in mind, I cannot take Bowser because canonically he always loses.
Always loses. Yeah.
Always. So that's off the board. But I can take Tom Nook so that we have healthy financials on Joe's squad. Tom Nook.
You didn't want to pick Frank West? He's covered wars, you know.
It's not bad. But no, Tom Nook.
So that's it. That's it for the fifth round.
That's the fifth round. So the sixth round, we're going to kick it back to Asif. No more Snake. With your mysterious, veiled sixth pick, who's making the team?
It's Kirby.
Nice.
You talking about winners? He's the only one who survived in Smash Ultimate.
Oh,
and
he's
he
indestructible.
He saved the entire universe in Smash Ultimate and in Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Anyway, Kirby. Love him.
And probably in all his other games, I would have to imagine, too.
Yeah, but like the situation was very dire in the Forgotten Land, right? Like existence as we knew it was tearing apart, and he put it back together with the help of his friend. The power of friendship, right?
Thanks, anyway, Kirby.
Yeah, Kirby's the best.
If we're grading on like the most rootable teams, Asif has one. But it's up to Mamu.
Like
rootable.
Like the team that you're going to cheer on the most.
Oh, that's not that. That is not what that means in Australia.
Oh, wow. Did I just say something offensive? Sorry.
It's like
not offensive, but just like
is that like a you know what? We're going to drop it. You Australians are filthy. You Australians are filthy. I'm sure I think I know what it means, and I'm not going to...
Especially straight after saying Kirby. I'm like, what the fuck, Joe?
Wow.
Yeah, okay.
Well, everyone knows my heart's in the right place. I'm sorry.
Apologies to the Australians listening. We were talking about cheering on a team.
Yeah,
not
right.
However you want to cheer them on, man. That's not that way. We're not King Shane in here.
not that way. Not that way. Rooting. I now. Whatever you do, folks at home, don't Google what rooting means in Australia. Or if you do, incognito mode.
Fantastic.
Christ. So, Sam, with your veiled, mysterious sixth pick.
Yeah. All right. Well, if we're talking about teams that you want to root for, you got to go with Cortana from Halo.
Ooh, some
put her in the
synergies
list.
on your team. Wow.
Except in Halo
mate.
5, right?
Oh, look, man, if she's able to take over the universe, even better. It doesn't matter. If she's winning, I'm winning, you know?
Bad guy.
That's fine.
That's good.
You go whatever you got to do to get the dub. And I feel like I need someone who is able to be in the technological layer of whatever competition we're in.
Sure. That's a good pick.
It's a good pick. With my mysterious 6th pick, I choose Madeline
From Celeste.
from Celeste.
Hell yeah.
A
Special lady.
highly pixelated to the point that who knows what she really looks like.
No, there's art.
protagonist.
There's art of her.
There's artwork. She's always going after that dang strawberry.
Yeah.
Fantastic game, fantastic hero of the game. My 6th pick. The teams are as follows. The draft is concluded. Mamu, we await your ruling. Asif, your team: Donkey Kong, Mario, Link, Pikachu, Arthur Morgan, and Kirby.
What did you want? I wasn't gonna pick Tom Nook. Like the other Sam took Samus Aran. Yeah, it was for me. It was down to like it was Leon Kennedy, Arthur Morgan, or Solid Snake. I was like one of those three.
I thought you were gonna do Bowser and do Super Mario RPG style. You know, we have to be on the same team for this kind of.
Nah,
kind of
I don't fuck with Bowser, man. That's TJ. TJ loves Bowser. I'm not a big Bowser fan. Also, no love for Luigi on this list.
I couldn't put every character. Come on, we had a small pool, and also you could have grabbed them with your 6th pick. You could have grabbed them
with Kirby on the board. I was just saying, if Luigi was there, I would have taken Luigi instead of Arthur Morgan, and it would have been a perfect Nintendo family. But no, that's fine.
Sam's team: Minecraft Steve as the MVP draft, Kratos, Master Chief, beefy squad you got here, Samus Aran, Geralt of Rivia, and Cortana. Cortana is like your strategy pick,
like the coach, like the manager. Right. Yeah,
that's
right. See that
point guard.
So how are Cortana and Kratos going to get along?
How are they going to get along?
Yeah, Kratos is likely to dismiss Cortana and play by his own rules.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying.
Not the Kratos that I know that's grown up and aged. And
emo Kratos. I forgot. Yeah, we have emo.
No, responsible Kratos with a kid.
The dad. Yeah.
Dad Kratos.
Dad Kratos. That's right. And then your
my team, Crash Bandicoot, a offensive powerhouse that cannot be tamed.
Yeah.
Cloud
no
Strife.
Matter how many crates, how many crates you throw at Crash.
Yeah, he has no trouble with that.
Yeah.
You got Garrus on the sniper, Shadowheart on the I don't know anything about her, Tom Hook on the financials, accounting for every dollar we spend and making sure that the money continues to stream in. The arena is well staffed. We have an in and out you can go to. There's also like a decent merch shop. All that's taken care of, and of course our let's say most resilient character. No matter how many times she's down, she gets back up. Madeline in the 6th slot. A team to be reckoned with. The 3 teams to be reckoned with, and as I said, Mamu's going to be the judge.
I told you we were going to have Cleveland Browns screwing up in real time on the podcast. They have traded the 2nd pick to the Jaguars.
For what?
They got the number 5 and a bunch of other draft picks in exchange. But yeah, the Jacksonville Jaguars have moved up and will draft, I believe, Travis Hunter 2nd overall.
Wow, real-time updates. Real-time NFL updates. Well,
it'll be late by the time they hear this. It'll have already happened. But
I should think
just to give them a frame of reference, we're recording this on a Thursday night, and I have the draft on the TV next to me. But yeah, solid teams. I don't know how the hell I don't know how Mamu's supposed to judge this. I do know that he's quite a Nintendo fan, so he might err on my side.
We'll check the YouTube comments.
Yeah, Arthur Morgan, definitely the head scratcher of my draft, but like I felt like no matter who I was gonna pick, it was gonna feel out of place. The other character I thought about picking was Mega Man.
Mega Man would have felt more at home here, but I like the paradoxical choice of Arthur Morgan. It's just a true contrast.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
nice.
He's gonna freak out. He's gonna be freaked out, man.
When he's hanging out with those guys in the locker room.
Yeah. Just patting Pikachu. You're all right, girl.
After Kirby turns into his horse. Awesome. Well, that went pretty well, Joe. I thought I suggested this one. I'm like, it's the draft this week, Joe. That's all I said. I was like, whatever. Do what you will with this information.
Yes, a great kick in the pants for a fun little draft. Thank you for participating. I look forward to the next show when we know who the winner is, and then that person can gloat, I guess.
Oh yeah. Awesome.
All right, off to you.
Yeah, we'll be right back with story time, so stay tuned. Welcome to Storytime. Let's dive into the latest stories from the past week. Storytime Previews is trademarked. It's a preview palooza from your friends at Shacknewsa. We only have one preview for this preview. The Onimusha 2 Samurai's Destiny Remaster is a polished trip to the franchise's weirdest entry. TJ got a chance to play the early hours of this game. So this is like a hands-on preview that he got to play. It's looking good, man. It's got that graphical bump that everyone was looking forward to. They did add some quality of life improvements as well. So it seems like it's a better game than the original, which not every remaster does. We were talking about that a few weeks ago with Lucas, how like sometimes they try to stay too true to the original, but I think bringing some quality of life and like modern updates to the UI, that's always welcome. So
like right down to the analog stick was not an option on PS2. And now it is,
yes.
Simple stuff like that.
Yeah, you're right. Like something as simple as input being vastly different. That's like what I'm interested in the Switch 2 for that reason. Like the advent of the mouse, and also now a bunch of screenshots of the settings that show that it's very likely you're going to be able to use a keyboard with your Switch as well. That could unlock for players, I think, is just really exciting. Okay. On to Reviewsa. Yeah, check out TJ's article, the Onimusha preview. It's up on shacknews.com. But he liked what he had seen. And this is like the Onimusha like reboot era, right? Because there's like a new one coming. They're drumming up some excitement with this game. This was one of the well-liked entries in the franchise. So yeah, exciting times.
For sure.
On to Reviewsa, which is also trademarked. It's a reviews palooza from your friends at Shacknewsa. Hey guys, this Clair Obscur Expedition 33 game, it's really good.
Kind of popping off.
Yeah. Will Barger reviewed it for us, had a lot of nice things to say. I have heard that it's a very Unreal Engine looking game, but outside of that, it's the story and the narrative and the character design, like all that stuff is like perfectly weaved together. This seems like a Joe game.
This is a guaranteed Joe try.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but like everything I'm reading here, it's a French team that made like a JRPG styled game, basically.
Mm-hmm. It's their first game, isn't it?
I think so.
Is it their first game?
This is their first game, as I understand. It's quite a bit of it's like Ubisoft's pedigree, but for the most part, it sounds like. But this team's...
the devs come from other like third-party studios, but yes, this is this team, Sandfall Interactive's first release. Mm-hmm. But it's Kepler Interactive publishing it, and they've kind of been crushing it. Stuff they've done. So you mentioned some of the characters are flawed, but they're interesting. He highlighted the story and the world and the battle system. He said the battle system makes you think. That's good. In an RPG. Otherwise, it really just becomes button mashing and like menus that just your eyes glaze over as you watch them.
The big takeaway that I had from his review was the world building and the actual characters and the troubles and the trials and tribulations that they go through in trying to like deal with this idea that people older than you are just dying, and that number is ticking lower and lower, and your number is literally about to be pulled.
Kind of talking about the cerebral nature of the combat, though, which is the thing that stuck out to me in this review, Sam. Will said, this is a turn-based RPG, but it isn't a DVD menu. You don't just select commands and watch canned animations play out while you wait for your next turn. There's plenty to keep you engaged in every fight, every character has both a melee and ranged attack, the latter of which you can aim manually. So there's a little bit of like that real-time feel to it, which is useful for targeting weak points. And melee attacks can build AP, and ranged attacks spend it each time you fire. So this is like balance of that first sentence, though, that it isn't a DVD menu. God, that's so important, man. Because that, like, I feel like some of the Final Fantasy games fall into that. But yeah, this between those two things, a compelling story that builds the world, but also gameplay loop that doesn't feel like I'm just navigating through a DVD menu, I think are very welcome.
As I understand it, if you do not learn how to parry, like as if this is Elden Ring, you will not fare well here, which is I've never heard that about a turn-based RPG before, so that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. I suck at parrying in most games. But yeah, got a 9 out of 10 here at Shack News. Got a lot of 10s. Out there. So people really like it. Will also, did he review Steel Seed? He did. This was not good.
This was the other end of the
like I don't know how else to say it, man. They got a 5 out of 10, man. He described the combat as miserable melee combat. Stealth gameplay is mediocre, and it's just everything in this game has been done before and been done better.
Yeah, it's kind of like pick a mechanic from a game you like. Does Steel Seed have it? Yes, it probably does. Does it expand upon it or evolve it? No.
It's just disappointing because the universe that they built for it looked kind of cool. Like, I was into this, like, parkour, robot, cyberpunk, dystopian future. I was like, that's kind of neat. But yeah, he Will did not like it. The only good news here is that it's short. It's about a 12-hour game. But yeah, he said it's such a mismatch of parts from so many games that none of them really managed to come together in a coherent way. I think that kind of sums up the failure to really capture his attention. But yeah, he did say that it does have some fun platforming sections. I think that's what I saw in the trailer when we greenlit this review. I was like, that looks kind of cool. It's like one of those things about people who make trailers, man. You can make a game look cool if you leave out the boring stuff, right? But then once you finally get in there and you see it, you're like, oh, never mind. But yeah,
trying to see what else this team made. This is Storm in a Teacup, and I just don't recognize. I don't recognize it. Close to the Sun from 2020. I don't know that game.
Also, terrible SEO because you have to type Storm in a Teacup game studio to even find them.
That's right.
They've been around for 12 years.
Looks like it.
Let's see. Steel Seed, Close to the Sun, Lantern, Nero, Nothing Ever Remains Obscure, Enki. Yeah, nothing is. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not. That's okay that I don't know. I just mean. I would expect to have heard of some of these, so I'm at a loss.
A lot of games out there.
Yeah.
On to the next review. The 100-line Last Defense Academy review. This is from Lucas White. When getting killed on purpose is a viable strategy. Stab yourself to save the world. Trust me, bro. He said, the premise is a lot. Humanity resides in a dome-covered version of Tokyo sometime in the distant future. The sterile peace, sometimes interrupted by unexplained danger sirens, is burst when the dome is breached by an army of aliens that look like mutated Build-A-Bears, which only seem interested in violence. You're trying to help your childhood friend fight the robots. This is weird.
Whenever I edit a piece of Lucas's, I know I'm about to learn about some insane, fucking wacky game or series I've never heard of before and just have my mind melted. Like, this just sounds so strange, man. It kind of like...
His pros and cons list actually got commented on by Axeman808 in the chatty. He said, I like the cons. I mean, the way that you presented them. So here are the pros first. It's like peanut butter and chocolate, but with Danganronpa and Zero Escape. That's interesting, right, Joe?
I do like those.
He said, plays with form in a fun way with multiple endings. unconventional tactical combat with a friendly difficulty option. Those sound all good.
Yeah.
The cons. The store brand LaCroix of character bonding systems. Repetition and pacing issues stemming from the above. And Kodaka's... I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Worst instincts aren't filtered enough. The LaCroix of character bonding systems is... that's
very good.
That's the inverse box quote, right? That's the opposite of a box quote, but really funny either way. Got a 7 out of 10 from
World's End Club was their prior release, which I have heard of 4 years ago.
And then last but not least, TJ Denzer reviewed Fatal Fury City of the Wolves for us. Southtown Showdown. Now, there's good and bad in this game, you guys. There's a lot of good. First of all, we haven't had like a actual new Fatal Fury game in a very long time. So it's been almost 20 years or something. So fans were excited about like these characters have been featured in like King of Fighters and stuff, right? Like, so it's not that SNK hasn't made games, but it's really been more of a King of Fighters era for them in the current generation. So this is like, we finally got a Fatal Fury, and it's like Terry's there and Rock's there and Mai's there and Kevin's there. And yeah, everyone that you would want from their, maybe not everyone, but a lot of the characters that you would want from their franchise are here. It has a very interesting art direction where it's like, is this cell shaded, Joe? Or I don't know what it is, but it's just like,
it has that like really high contrast, like a lot of thick black lines. So I'd call it more of like a comic book aesthetic. Extra
comic book looking. Like, like they went ham with the black marker on this shit. So that's the only way I can describe it. I'm not an artist. But yeah, it's visually striking. I don't know if it's appealing at times, but it's just like, you definitely are going to look at it and you see a screenshot or you see a video of it.
You're definitely going to look at it.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. Like, I'm not like,
it's a choice.
Sometimes I'm like, ooh, but like I'm not like, oh man, this looks great. I'm just like, this looks like something.
I would describe this as in the style of a late PS3, which had a lot of that sort of non-HDR, very, very high contrast, like tons of black in the character design, lots of like really heavy shadows, super saturated colors. But, you know, this is, as opposed to PS3, this is going to be an extremely high definition 4K-ish. And it runs well. It has the crossplay and the rollback netcode that is kind of becoming a standard for fighting games now. It does introduce some cool things like color edit mode where you can really mess around with the character's style. They did shoehorn in Cristiano Ronaldo, and it's really, in TJ's review process, it really started to show up just how shoehorned in Cristiano Ronaldo is. I mentioned color edit mode. Ronaldo, you can't do that with. He's not available in that mode. And the PR term is, he's not available yet. So it's like, if they've been working on this game, Sam, for like 3-4 years. We've been covering it. There's no way, there's no way that there's like all these modes and every character in the game, including the DJ guy, who's like he's never been in this game before. I can't remember his name right now. I'll see if I can find it here. Yeah, it's like even the other character who's like not from the franchise that's playable at launch, he's in all the modes. So I just think it's kind of weird that like there's no arcade mode for Ronaldo, which means there's no like story single player mode for Ronaldo, and then you can't mess with him in color edit mode either. Just kind of lame. And we talked about it on a previous episode, how the decision to put a professional soccer player in a fighting game, I don't think that was made by the devs. I think that was made by... It's very
weird.
Yeah.
That's a strange choice.
I mentioned it before. I don't think you were on the episode, Sam, but Cristiano Ronaldo has the most followers out of any human on Instagram, and that's promoted post from him is the most expensive out of any influencer promoted post in the world.
It's not surprising at all, really.
Yeah. He's a very popular soccer player, man.
Brazil is all about soccer. They've got like one of the biggest populations in the world.
Yeah, they play King of Fighters and SNK games down there in South America and in the rest of the world and in the Arab world where, you know, SNK is 100% owned by Saudis. Yeah. And it's starting to show. I don't know if you included it in the news rundown, No, you didn't. But Fatal Fury announced a $2.5 million prize pool for their esport today, Joe. So like they are committing a lot of money. Yeah, the SNK World Championship to feature a $2.5 million prize pool for City of the Wolves. So they're going all in here, man. The champion, whoever wins that tournament, is walking away with $1.5 million. So there's gonna be an esport here. You know what I mean? Like if you spend that kind of money, the players are gonna show up. And I don't know what you want to talk about the ethics of this. I don't think anyone's gonna care where the money's coming from, who's competing, because that's just for someone who plays fighting games to be able to make $1.5 million from an esport. That's life-changing money.
Oh, absolutely. That's a phenomenal amount.
Yeah, so they're gonna keep throwing their money around. But yeah, like that kind of tainted TJ's review. Like the forced their marketing around the game recently, and also just he straight up lists Cristiano Ronaldo as a con. Just his name. But yeah, TJ had a lot of good things to say about this game. He said most of the roster is great and plays well, even Salvatore. That's the DJ guy. But like Salvatore is featured in all those modes that I was talking about, Joe. Like it's very noticeable that Ronaldo's the only one that's not featured in every mode. It just makes me think it was the last second edition.
Right.
Solid and expressive art style. Sure. Like I said, it's an acquired taste. It's like some people really like licorice. Other people, like, it makes them want to hurl, right?
For sure.
Anyway, great original music. That is true. And the collected music from the whole series is cool. Arcade mode feels better than many others he's played. Solid modes for training and onboarding. Rev and SPG encourage good and defensive and offensive decisions. So that's like similar to the meter that you would see in like Street Fighter 6 or whatever. They have a similar mechanic. Online and crossplay are exceptionally smooth in most cases. That's very important for me. A fighting game that ships without crossplay is kind of dead on arrival, in my opinion, in this world. And then, yeah, TJ shouts out color mode specifically. He did say the story mode was kind of meh, and the online mode UI feels clunky and unintuitive, which has been a problem in other SNK games. And then literally, Cristiano Ronaldo. That's just a weird... That's going to be like, we're going to bring him up for best cameo. I don't know if he'll win, but like we're definitely going to talk about it at the Shack News Awards later this year. That was reviews. Got an 8 out of 10. So, you know,
pretty good.
Maybe without Ronaldo, it's a 9. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they added anything to the game by adding Cristiano Ronaldo. Now, they added to the marketability or the reach, you know, like all these things that you would hear Suits talk about. But did it make it a better game? The answer is simply no, it didn't. And yeah, check out our YouTube. We will have gameplay. We have gameplay already up of it, of the different modes. And TJ is live streaming it as we record. So there'll be a VOD of TJ taking it to the lab and Fatal Fury. On to Newsa, which is also trademarked. It's a Newspalooza coined by Shaq Newsa. You guys hear about this Nintendo Switch 2?
I think so.
It rings a bell.
So I heard that it was expensive and the games cost too much. And maybe that's true. But you know who doesn't seem to care? The people who bought this thing hand over fist over the last week. This thing is sold out everywhere. Every pre-order, basically everywhere, is sold out. Furukawa took to Twitter early morning yesterday to issue a please understand, Joe. This was a please understand moment for Nintendo.
Right, sure.
He said, Nintendo Switch 2 My Nintendo applications far exceed console supply expectations. In Japan alone, they received 2.2 million pre-order applications. That would be the largest console launch in the history of Japan. It's also, I think, something like 8 times more than the Switch 1 launch demand in Japan. They sold 300,000 Switch 1s in the launch window in Japan in 2017. 2 million people wanted to buy this thing on day one. And they said, look, we underestimated demand for this. We are going to ramp up production. So that's great news, right? That they're going to try to ramp up production. Nintendo did say that they are no longer guaranteeing delivery on Switch 2 pre-orders for June 5th. Demand has been crazy. Today, we're recording on April 24th. Walmart, Target, and Best Buy were all supposed to go live at midnight with their pre-orders. None of them did. I think Target might have, but their websites collapsed under the amount of, probably scammers and scalpers, but also just people trying to buy the damn thing.
Oh, I didn't know that happened.
Oh yeah. Target, I can just tell you my experience, and Sam, you were in Slack with us, just kind of commiserating as we were all suffering. But yeah, I had it in my cart in Target, and it kept failing at the checkout. It was telling me that I had the wrong address. It was telling me I didn't include my CVV number. It was like all these things that I had in there. It was like the actual payment database, Joe, was like breaking under the amount of usage that was coming their way. So when you're a retailer, it seems like the number one thing you should be focused on is the ability for people to give you money efficiently. So I don't know. I'm sure someone who designs these payment systems could explain this, but like, why does this keep happening? Like, is it just surely not enough? Like, no one expected this much demand? Is that what it was? Or is there something about how these scalpers work that break websites?
Probably that the websites expect a certain amount of users, like, across a given year. And then these peak moments, like, yeah, you could plan for it. Maybe the expense of actually upgrading everything just for, a week isn't worth the value of the money that you can generate from the actual sales. And so they're just just let the service crash, and people are going to buy it regardless. We're going to sell it.
It's also aggressive traffic, right? Like the traffic isn't like, if let's say I'm making numbers up, but let's say it's 20 million people on Target.com. I'm sure that's high, but whatever. Let's say it's 20 million humans. 10 million humans. It's not 10 million visits to Target.com. It's countless refreshes.
Yeah, right? Probably hundreds per person.
Yeah. The actual load on the site is a multiplicable of the human beings trying to access it. That is inordinate compared to normal traffic too. So it really is just exacerbated by the mania of wanting the thing.
Not to mention like the underlying processes that they probably have that run each time you try to check out, right, Joe? So it's like
exactly. The servers are they're like melting. Yeah.
So after about 30 minutes of wrestling with the Target website, it just removed my fucking Switch from my cart and said it was sold out. And I was like, fuck you. I'm never going to try to buy anything from that place. So I was simultaneously logged in on Walmart.com, Target.com, and BestBuy.com. Walmart does this thing where it's like, please wait, right? And it had like a countdown. It got down to a minute. It sat there on the minute waiting screen for 50 minutes. And then I refreshed and I could put it in my cart. And I was like, oh my God, put it in my cart. Before Wario tweeted about it, I had already checked out. Because when Wario64 tweeted throughout the night about availability on various websites, it would crash their site. So it was like, I lucked out where I got a Switch probably about an hour after they went live through Walmart. It hasn't been canceled yet, but because I'm paranoid and I knew people might need one or whatever, I bought another one from Best Buy. I got in there before Wario tweeted, and I was able to. That one's going to be picked up at the store, and the Switch 2 from Walmart will be delivered at 9 a.m. on launch day. So I have secured 2 Switches. And then after I checked out, I was like, oh shit, I forgot to buy a Pro Controller. I forgot to buy a camera. So I actually went back to Walmart and they had those in stock and I was able to check out. But man, what a shit show. It took some of our staff were up for like 2.5 hours last night trying to buy the thing. David ended up going to GameStop this morning and successfully getting, he was 6th in line. They had 62 at our local GameStop here. Where Funko Land used to be. So yeah, he was able to secure a Switch 2. Donovan was able to at GameStop. I think Denny also got his at GameStop. I can't remember where Ozzy. I think Ozzy might have got his through Best Buy. But yeah, most of our staff has secured a Switch 2. So that's good because we're gonna need to cover that thing. We're also gonna be playing Mario Kart World. What are we talking about here, right? So yeah,
well done. It's well done.
Yeah, demand is crazy though, dude. I think that the way that the company ended up being positioned in the tariff battle was free publicity. You had John Oliver talking about it, Stephen Colbert, like USA Today, like very, I think Good Morning America was talking about it. And it was never Nintendo is charging too much. It was Nintendo had to delay pre-orders because of uncertainty around the tariffs. And now, what are we? We're 22 days removed from the tariff announcements. And most of those have been rolled back or delayed. And there's signs that the ones from China may get pulled back too. So yeah, like Nintendo, I think, benefited greatly from how they handled it. And a lot of people were crapping on them, myself included. Like the way they handled the price announcement on the day of the Switch Direct was bad. They could have done a better job of messaging that. But I think the way they handled the rest of it has been pretty good. I will say, like, it's insane how people still say that games cost $90. They don't. There's not a single $90 game in America, but you'll still see that in Shack News YouTube comments. You'll see that all over the internet. I said this last week. I think I've said this for maybe 3 weeks in a row. Twitter is not the real world. Like, if you have time to comment on every Shack News tweet or every IGN tweet, you probably don't even have a job. So, like, maybe you're not the one to comment on price. The people who make money in your family might be the ones. And then, Joe, I mentioned it last week when you announced your PC build, like, that you had finally got some deals on it, that, like, that's still going to cost you 5 times more than the Switch costs. And obviously, like, different things or whatever, but, like, at the end of the day, like, what they've packaged into this Switch 2 for $450 is not that crazy. And for people who maybe are only going to have to pay this once every 8 years, I think it was a no-brainer for a lot of people. I think the Switch hands-on experiences that they did, those were really solid events that kind of turned the tide for people. And like you said last week, with when Tears of the Kingdom was $70, we didn't see this. And then once you played it, you're like, oh yeah, that's $70. It's no big deal. So yeah, it was much ado about nothing. The arguing about price and the yelling about price and saying that, oh, they're going to have to raise it by another $100. They didn't have to do any of that. It was all fear mongering by people who probably weren't going to buy it anyway. But yeah, it seems like there's a tremendous amount of demand. This might be the best console launch of all time, just from a numbers standpoint. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how many they can get out the door. But I think when they saw the opportunity to have this record in Japan, I think they jumped on it. I also said it at the time, I think I said it on this show, that there's a patriotic element to this, right? Nintendo being put in the center of this tariff story, it played different over in Japan, right? And Nintendo intelligently creating a low-cost SKU for Japanese people, and it's Japanese region locked, that worked extremely well. That was like, of course people are going to support this company. They're getting a better deal than the foreigners are, and it's helping the country at a time where we're under, Japan's under attack by America. There's a sense of nationalism behind this story too. And I think Nintendo is like one of the most public-facing Japanese brands out there, and one that the Japanese people take pride in, right? Like when you land in Japan, Mario and Peach welcome you. Like there's like a giant mural in Narita Airport. So like I think people underestimated that. I think Nintendo underestimated that. Furukawa in his message said as much, because they never know. They have Wii U PTSD, right? This is clearly not a Wii U. If they had enough supply, I think they would outsell the Wii U. The first year of Wii U sales, which was I think 3.5 million, they're going to outdo that in the first day of this thing, and that's for sure. That's just crazy. So a lot of negative rhetoric around it. It kind of reminds me of Apple, man. Like after iPhone, after iPod, how people were like, "Oh, this time Apple's going to fail. This time Apple's going to fail," and it just didn't happen. Yeah, the Switch 2 is not as innovative or groundbreaking as Switch 1. It's not, and there's competitors out there, but they will have outsold Steam Deck in one day with Switch 2, and that's kind of wild. I'm not saying Steam Deck is bad. I'm just saying like there's room in the universe for both.
Yeah, sure.
And they serve different purposes, I think. But I am interested in like where this goes from here, because this is initial demand, early adopters. These are the people who are willing to pay. The other question is, will the supply demand situation be better come holiday, right? And that's what we don't know. We don't know how the ramp's going to happen, how many Switches are in America already, how many are on boats on their way to America. How are they going to ramp this? Are they going to make them in Japan, China, Vietnam? Where? But we now have more clarity 20 days later about tariffs than we did on April 2nd. And we know that they did not increase the price of the Switch 2 ahead of the launch. They announced it for $450, which they probably increased it that morning internally, but they announced it for $450. They kept it at $450. They did increase the prices of all the accessories by about 10%, 5 to 10%, depending on which product. So it wasn't like we escaped that entirely, but yeah, I don't know. I think they handled it as well as any company could. It was really bad luck to have to go up against Donald Trump's tariffs, literally within months of the most important launch in your company's history. But I give Nintendo credit for how they've executed so far. Their messaging hasn't been great, which leads me to Doug Bowser letting everyone know that there's a Mario game coming. Like, thanks, Doug.
Thanks, Doug.
Like, no shit. There's a Mario game coming. Like,
you know how people say that could have been an email? That could have been a ticker.
That could have been nothing. Don't even say it. Like, both him and Nate, when they and Bill Trinan, they were all like, "Oh, tune into the Mario Kart Direct to really understand how it's worth $80." And I don't think they did. I don't think they needed to do that. like they didn't need to say that, because it creates expectations for the Direct, and then that didn't live up to whatever. Anyway, you guys have anything to say about Switch 2?
I'm just hoping that my local retailer is able to fill my pre-order that I did last month. When was the reveal? Was it this month? Last month?
It was this month. It was 20 days ago.
Month? 20 days ago? Yeah.
The Direct was 20 days ago.
Right, so at the start of the month when I put the pre-order down, I hope that...
That's right. Aussies, you got to pre-order right then.
Yeah, that's right. So hopefully that gets filled. I don't know how many they're sending our way. Maybe me and the rest of Australia is going to have to trade the 5 around and...
Well, do you guys have any trade war going on with Japan?
With Japan? I don't think so. Don't we?
Do you have anything going on with China?
A trade war? No, I don't think so.
Honestly, it might be cheaper to send you a Switch than me, man, or Joe. it might be. I'm just saying, like, you guys are awfully nice over there in Australia. You're very polite folks. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, excited for people to get their hands on it. I know, Joe, you weren't as successful, but I think you'll find one. You're gonna.
It's okay. I can wait till holiday if I have to.
Oh, I doubt that.
What do you mean? That I won't get one on holiday?
No, I'm saying like it's gonna happen before then. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, like my lust will take over? Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Like I don't know if it's Kart with you, because I'm not sure how. Although your kids are gonna go crazy for Kart.
I could see, my fatherhood drive kicking in, and then being like, I have to get my kids Mario Kart. Mm-hmm. That is the thing that's most likely to happen. So
yeah. So like, it's not FOMO for you as much, but it's going to be like, like open world Mario Kart is going to be a killer app for kids. Like that is exactly what kids need. So like, it doesn't matter how complicated the open world is. Just not having to worry about staying on the track and winning and losing, I think, is a huge win.
Oh, they'll go nuts for it for sure.
Yeah. So but like in that statement that Furukawa made, he said, we are ramping up production as a result of this unexpected demand. So like it means that they were being calculated. They weren't betting the company, but now they're like, oh, we have a ton of demand. Let's get as many of these ready. So by Christmas, hopefully they're out there. I just hope that this Mario Kart bundle doesn't go away. Like it should just be an option forever. Yeah. I was thinking about it. They want the attach rate to be higher is what they're going for here. The attach rate is like, how many games sell per system or whatever, but also it's how many copies did you sell per system, right? And with Kart, it was a little more than 1 out of 3 people who bought a Switch also bought Kart 8 Deluxe. So with this and this bundle, I could see it go closer to 1 out of 2 or something. And that's just going to be, that'll be considered a win for them. On to other wins. Phasmophobia has sold over 3 million units on consoles. That's great news.
Oh, wow. I actually missed that headline. Just consoles.
Mm-hmm. That's PlayStation 5 and Xbox.
Dang. And I feel like this game is primarily a Steam success, too. So that's actually
Steam early
crazy.
access.
Yeah.
Massive success on Steam.
Right.
And yeah, this is only since October of last year.
That's insane.
Awesome. That is awesome. Good for those devs. And maybe it'll come to Switch too. And then we got a release date for Ghost of Yotei. It's coming to PlayStation 5 this fall in October. And that is a cursed release date that could probably go right up against GTA 6. I'm just saying, there's a fucking behemoth out there right now, guys. That no one knows when the GTA 6 release date is. So
yeah, there's a landmine somewhere.
When you're announcing a release date right now, like Marathon, we're coming out in September. I'm like, good luck. We're coming out in October. I'm like, good luck. Maybe there's a reason there's no Mario game coming out this year. They kind of want to sidestep GTA 6. They want to maybe drop a Mario movie next year and then have a Mario game come out, or maybe simultaneously. But yeah, I'm curious. Like, I don't think Metroid Prime 4 has a release date yet, right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
So, like, maybe that's the October game for them. But even Nintendo's being weird about waiting for GTA to shoot first. You know what I mean? Like, before really laying out your holiday plan. We already talked about Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered is out and lovely. And Remedy's co-op shooter FBC Firebreak got a June 2025 release date. So that'll probably be around the summer of Jeff, right? They usually do stuff together. Mm-hmm. That was Newsa. Okay. On to Industruza real quick. Industry News Palooza brought to you by Shaq Newsa. Discord co-founder Jason Citron resigns as CEO ahead of the IPO and is being replaced by a former Activision Blizzard vice chairman.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's pretty terrible news, Sam. I saw your comment. You're like, I hope they turn it around. I'm like, I would not be surprised if they don't.
Nope, that's the hope, the operative right there. I hope.
And they got those video ads coming in June. I'm not going to dwell on this Tesla earnings because I would just recommend you watch the live stream VOD where I break it down. We actually had a special Game Trader episode where I broke down how I feel about the Tesla earnings report. That was the worst report I've heard in years. The company saw automotive revenue decrease 20% year over year. They refused to mention a demand issue. But one thing I pointed out, and I'll point it out here, last quarter, they were supply constrained by battery cells. This quarter, they were not. They did nothing to increase their battery supply, guys. So guess what? It's only because demand is down. It's not that they magically fix their supply issue. When your demand goes down, you need less inputs. And they didn't mention Cybertruck once on the conference call. Elon Musk did say that he is going to spend less time with the Department of Government Efficiency starting in May, and that's what caused the stock to go up. The stock went up about $10 on the news that he was going to not stop, but he's going to work 5 days a week at Tesla, 2 days at Doge. And anyone else doing math, that means 0 days at SpaceX, 0 days at Neuralink, 0 days at the Borg company. Hey, he's neglecting a lot of companies, I guess.
He actually said that math?
No, he didn't say.
Okay.
He did say 5. He did say 5 and 2. I extrapolated.
No. I understand. Sure.
But like, that's my point. Like,
yeah,
that's an announcement that you're going to work 5 days a week for your fucking company. Like, what an idiot. And like, a refusal on the part of the board and him to acknowledge that his behavior is why demand is like, they're ignoring demand right now, Joe. Like, they're creating excuses for why they missed on deliveries. They missed on deliveries, on production numbers, on revenue, on margins, and on earnings. 5 key metrics. They missed on all of them. They haven't had this bad of a miss ever. So, like, yeah. I guess the point is this is just one data point that we'll be able to point to a year from now when Tesla stock is down 50% from where it is right now. And we'll be like, this was the beginning of the end when he did the salute. Anyway, if you want to hear more about it, go on the website. We have all sorts of content there, articles Donovan, TJ, and I were writing, but also I wrote down a transcript of the conference call so you don't have to sit there and listen to it. But if you do want to sit there and listen to it, we have that on YouTube as well. So check out all those places. Other company reported, Google. Yeah, you remember how we were talking about Google being an antitrust nightmare? Well, the antitrust nightmare just reported $90 billion of quarterly revenue. So
quarterly.
It doesn't matter. That's just in a quarter. If you're making $90 billion in a quarter, you're an antitrust nightmare. Like, you shouldn't exist. And I don't know how to break.
Double digits days.
Yeah, like, I don't understand how they keep doing this. They also announced a $70 billion buyback. So they're going to buy back $70 billion of their stock in the next year. On top of what they already did. They bought $15 billion of their stock during the quarter. But yeah, Google's doing extremely well still. Their cloud numbers were impressive. They touted, it was really weird, Joe, in their press release, they touted how many people are using, Gemini's autofill, whatever the hell that thing is called.
Oh, let me guess. They touted how many people are using this thing that you implicitly use by searching.
Yeah. They're like, over 1.5 billion people have used our AI Gemini snippet thing. I'm like, you have no choice. When you search for shit, it just shows up. But yes, we all actively chose to use it, Sundar. Yeah, no.
I mean, the thing that I have learned, it's Pavlovian. The thing that I have learned to scroll past.
They touted that. That was like a big thing on their conference, on their quarterly report. First paragraph, he mentions it. I'm like, this is, yeah. Anyway. Yeah, the other companies reported. We had IBM, they disappointed. We had semiconductor stocks doing pretty well. Texas Instruments had better than expected numbers. Taiwan Semi, I think, was last week. They had better than expected numbers. I have a Game Trader episode coming in 6 days, so tune in for that. I'm going to let people know what I think they should do with Nintendo stock. Yeah, so tune into that. I'm not going to talk about it here. That's the show. My God, we did it. Thank you. If you made it this far, we do have our community notes. Got a few questions and comments from the Shack News community, which you can join and probably dominate and take over if you head over to shacknews.com/chatty or by emailing us at sam.chandler@shacknews.com. No one's going to email you, Sam. It'll be fine.
I read all the emails, so if you do email me, be nice.
Yeah. Here's the Haas Mama Corner. He says, I'm stealing the phrase, I have no affinity when I hate something.
That is good. That is good.
Because you guys had the guests on the show last week had no affinity for the Beatles, Sam. So,
did you see his follow-up comment? What
did he say next?
He has no. He then says, "I have no affinity for ChatGPT."
Yes, that's. I share your lack of affinity for ChatGPT.
Oh, here's something too. I believe this is TJ's comment. TJ comments, Lunar, you got to show the kids you're real and cool. Lunar, I made mention of pronunciation of the Lunar Remastered collection.
Yes.
And how I thought that was, and anyway, so I looked up, am I crazy? And I could find no evidence of Lunar being the correct pronunciation.
So I was right.
Yeah, you were right. But more interesting to me is, like, where did that memory come from? It's like, I believed that in my head.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Like, no, that, like, I looked at how it was spelled. And I was like, no, this is Lunar. Anyway.
Yeah.
I got it right. I should get another win on the old board.
Yeah.
For being right there. But yeah, Lunar. And then he also, I think TJ said something about Schedule 1 being a business sim, a cozy business sim or something. Dude. A lot of streamers have been streaming that game since we did. Like, it like opened the floodgates. I've seen like Grand Pooh Bear did a stream, Mighty Keef did a stream. It's fun with people. Like, I want to get more people in there, but yeah, the place that I'm at is just, I don't like hard drugs. I'm not a hard drug user. I don't even smoke marijuana. I drink lemonade that's infused with THC. It's actually called a lemonade elixir. I feel like a wizard when I get high now. Anyway. That's going to do it for our show. Subscribe on your podcast app of choice or on YouTube, where a lot of people listen to us on YouTube. Shout out. And tune in every Friday for more Shack Together. Thank you, Sam. I know it's your Australia's Veterans Day, so we appreciate you taking the time out. We salute everyone who served over there. And
thanks for having me.
Yeah, always fun to talk
Sam.
video games with you, Sam. And yeah, thanks, Joe, for producing it and for cooking up a lovely draft for everyone to enjoy. Because it seems like the NFL draft may be disappointing people.
Oof,
at least pleasure. Cleveland fans. At least Cleveland fans. But they're habitually disappointed. Except for Cavs fans. Watch for that Cavs team. Real quick. Blacked out both games, Joe. Haven't been able to watch a single Cavs playoff game in Canton, Ohio.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. And I have League Pass and I have freaking YouTube TV. And I still can't watch it.
What don't you have? What do you need to have the local sports network or something?
I don't know. I have to bribe Adam Silver directly. Like I don't know. Man. Maybe a VPN. Like I'm not sure. They're doing something where like there's this it's the company Bally's. They still have the rights to the first round or something. Because you know how like after the first round it just goes ESPN and TNT.
Right. Like MSG is just the first round here. Yeah. So basically, like, I don't subscribe to Bally's because they're bankrupt. Like, and I'm not going to give them money for this because I'm already paying 2 different media outlets to be able to watch this, and I still can't. But also, like, for the way it is here, YouTube doesn't carry MSG, so I need to get Fubo.
Yep.
So is that what? Like, do you have limited options too? Streaming?
Yes. And it's just like I have to subscribe to this Bally's network, and I don't want to do it. Yeah, it's an absurd amount of money just to watch the first round of a playoff game, which we're playing against the dog water Miami Heat. Like I'm not too worried about it. I can catch highlights later, but yeah, it's just annoying, man. Like you pay money, you think you're going to be able to watch things, and you can't. Like,
well, and you're local, right? Like it'd be one thing if you just didn't have like there was during the cord cutting era. Or like the onset of that, like 10 years ago, maybe I kind of hopped on the bandwagon early and quickly learned, okay, you can't really be a Knicks fan and do that.
No.
But you like to think like 10 years later, like now it's a pretty well established. No one says cord cutting anymore. Like YouTube TV is very normal.
Yeah.
And it's
Netflix
just hard to follow
than all the media
sports. For sure.
But
local sports are still really tough.
What's weird is, like, I understood it. Like, I grew up here where we've had really horrible teams where they don't sell out. I get that. If the game itself has tickets available, I understand regional blackouts. But these are the Cavs we're talking about. They've been sold out for years. Like, it's the hottest ticket in town, man. People love going to Cavs games in Northeast Ohio. It's like Donovan Mitchell is an amazing player. And, like, he's must-see TV. Unless you live in Canton, Ohio, apparently. But yeah, it's just frustrating. It's a stupid first world problem thing. But yeah, I want to watch my Cavs beat the crap out of Miami Heat, and I can't. Sure. But I'm fucking stoked, man. Go Cavs! And like if this progresses into the finals, I'll go attend a finals game again because it's really fun. You've been there. That arena is just fun.
It's loud and fun. It's a good place.
Yeah, cool. Well, I'll do it. Go Cavs! I somehow talked about sports at the beginning and the end of this show with you guys. I know you actually like basketball, Joe, but Sam, his eyes must be glazed over entirely.
Sorry, Sam.
But hey, next week, Sam, tune in and I'll talk about Blueprints. Or I'll just talk about the Mirror Ace League Grand Prix. We'll see. Tune in to find out. That's it. When you wave to the camera that's not on the same.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Shack Together is a Shack News production.
Shack Together is a Shack News production.
Shack Together is a Shack News production.
Shack News is a multimedia company consisting of a variety of entertainment properties, including ShackNews.com, video game and cutting-edge technology coverage with evergreen video, guide, and long-read content, providing readers and viewers with the latest reviews, previews, interviews, and news. Shack News content is readable and viewable at ShackNews.com, Facebook, YouTube at Shack News Interviews, and Shack News VODs, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at Shack News Media, Twitch, and more. But that's not all. You can play Bubbletron, our first video game. Combine 3 ideas, hit the market, and get your money hat. Bubbletron is a daily game in the style of Wordle, where players can launch a company and see its valuation instantly. Hit that high score and brag to your friends. Visit Bubbletron.com to play. There is no download required, no signups required, but if you are into app downloads, we have the cutest one on the planet. It's called Shack Pets, the ultimate battle for cuteness. Swipe your pets to victory on iOS and Android in this Tinder-like app for pets. Shack News is proud to present a variety of micro products, all available for free at shacknews.com. Cortex is a publishing platform available to all of our users. Shouts is a Twitter replacement in a time where Twitter really needs replacing. And Reader, an RSS reader that won't get shut down by Google anytime soon. You can import YouTube, subreddits, all sorts of cool stuff, even podcast feeds. And lastly, all of our products are completely free to use and play, so if you're a fan of what we're doing and want to support the Shack News ecosystem, head over to shacknews.com/Mercury. Mercury offers subscribers access to exclusive Shack News swag like hoodies and VIP access to our long reads in downloadable format. It's a great way to support us. There's different tiers, and you get a lightning bolt next to your name.